why the sea feels frightening, why it feels unknown and sometimes returns things no one asked for. Not treasures, not answers, just something that feels like it doesn't belong anywhere. Imagine standing on a quiet shore at dawn, lost in your own thoughts about life. The air is cold enough to sting your nose and lungs. Slowly, something unfamiliar begins to appear at the edge of the water. You don't quite believe what you're seeing. It feels wrong, not wreckage, not a piece of driftwood. Something shaped with intention, closed, sealed. And before anyone opens it, before a single word is spoken, everyone standing there shares the same feeling. A darkness, an omen. Whatever came from the sea was never meant to reach this shore. And sending it back might be the safest choice. Stories like this survive because they sit uncomfortably close to reality. They don't begin with monsters or miracles. They begin with ordinary people making ordinary decisions while facing something they cannot explain. The story of the strange vessel, later called Utsuro Bune, is not frightening because we know what was inside. It is frightening because everyone chose not to know. In the early 19th century, along the coast of what is now Japan's Ibaraki region, fishermen reportedly saw a strange object drifting toward the shore. It resembled no boat they had ever known. Round and enclosed, it floated on the waves like a hollow sphere. Its surface combined polished wood and metal plating, as if it had been carefully designed to survive long journeys or violent seas. Glass panels reflected the morning light, a detail rare even in major cities at the time. The fishermen approached with a mixture of curiosity and fear. A storm-damaged vessel or a foreign trading ship would have made sense to them, something familiar enough for the mind to accept. But what stood before them was intact, purposeful, silent. There were no signs of panic or accident. It looked less like something lost and more like something guided to the shore. This detail appears again and again in the accounts. When they pulled it onto land, curiosity overcame hesitation. Villagers later described how the upper section opened like a lid, revealing a single passenger inside. A young woman sat calmly within the enclosed space. Around her were small, unfamiliar objects and layers of soft fabric. She did not appear injured. She did not appear afraid. According to witnesses, what unsettled them most was not her presence, but her calmness, the way she showed no fear of anyone around her. Her appearance felt unfamiliar. Pale skin unlike the local people, reddish hair and clothing made from a material no one recognized. It was not extravagant, just different enough to make her seem as though she belonged outside the known world. When villagers tried speaking to her, she answered in a language no one understood. It was neither Chinese nor Dutch, nor any language Japan was known to have contact with at the time. Communication collapsed instantly. And when language disappeared, so did the strongest thing that makes people feel safe. But the most disturbing detail was not the woman. It was the box she held. She carried a small square box made of pale material, gripping it tightly. Witnesses said she never let go of it, not even for a moment. Whenever someone tried to approach, she became uneasy. She protected it not with fear, but with devotion, as if whatever was inside mattered more than her own survival. People immediately began creating explanations. The human mind dislikes empty spaces. One elder suggested she might be a princess, exiled because of a forbidden love. Perhaps the box contained the remains of someone she refused to abandon. Others imagined political punishment, distant lands, or unknown technologies. None of these explanations revealed the truth. They only made the mystery easier to live with. Inside the vessel were food supplies, water containers, and soft bedding. Enough preparation for survival, but not for a permanent life. Symbols covered the interior walls, markings no one could interpret. They did not look purely decorative, yet they did not appear functional either. They seemed suspended somewhere between meaning and meaninglessness. And this is where the story becomes truly unsettling. The villagers did not harm her. They did not imprison her, but they did not accept her either. Helping her might have meant involving unknown powers. Keeping her meant risk and danger. Ignoring her felt cruel, but safer than becoming involved in something they did not understand, and possibly making the wrong decision. Vessel again, and pushed it toward open vessel again, and pushed it toward open waters. There was no violence, no ceremony, only relief. The unknown had been returned to a distance where it could no longer demand answers. Later, similar stories appeared along different shores, small differences, but always the same elements. The strange vessel, the silent woman, the protected box, and the same ending. Each time people sent her away, not out of hatred, but hesitation born from uncertainty. What makes this legend endure is not whether it truly happened. Maritime history is full of unexplained encounters. Foreign sailors drifted ashore, experimental vessels disappeared. Many legends were born from misunderstanding. What truly disturbs us is human behavior. Every version of the story reveals the same instinct. When people face something that challenges reality without directly threatening them, they often choose distance instead of understanding. Fear does not always shout. Sometimes it looks like a reasonable decision. Uncertainty can be more disturbing than danger. An enemy can be fought or escaped, but a mystery offers no clear action. The villagers stood before a living question mark, someone who required empathy, yet carried unpredictable consequences. Perhaps that is why the woman still feels haunting. She is not supernatural. She curses no one. She does not disappear dramatically. She simply arrives, tries to exist, and is returned to loneliness because understanding her required courage. Over time, modern interpretations reshaped the story. Some connected it to aliens, others to secret technologies, even time travel. Each explanation reflected the fears of its own era. The story changes because uncertainty invites new meanings. Perhaps the most unsettling possibility is this: nothing extraordinary happened at all. Maybe she was simply a foreigner whose language no one understood. Maybe the box contained memories, loss, or proof of a life no one else could read. If that is true, the story stops being a mystery and becomes a quiet reminder of how easily humanity excludes what it cannot understand. Loneliness is often born not from distance, but perception. The villagers were not cruel people. Their decision made sense within their world: protect the community, reduce risk, preserve order. Even today, similar decisions are made, not by slamming doors shut, but by quietly leaving them barely open. But logic does not erase consequences. Imagine drifting back toward the open sea, watching the shore grow smaller, while knowing the people there saw you, discussed you, and still sent you away. In that moment, it is not the ocean that becomes frightening, but human hesitation. This is where the power of the Utsuro Bune legend lies. There is no villain, no monster, only people facing uncertainty and choosing not to know. The real horror is not inside the vessel, but on the shore. Even today, similar moments happen. We encounter someone we do not understand, someone different. Instead of asking questions, we quietly step away, not out of hatred, but discomfort. Legends survive because they reflect behaviors we do not like to recognize in ourselves. The drifting woman becomes a symbol of every unanswered question humanity chose to avoid. Every person turned into a story instead of being understood. Perhaps that is why the image remains so vivid: a sealed vessel moving slowly across dark waters, carrying someone whose story was never truly heard. Perhaps if someone had listened, if someone had chosen empathy, things might have been different. Maybe they would have helped her. Maybe no danger would have come at all. Maybe only kindness would have reached their village. Who can know? The sea erases traces, but it does not erase questions. Currents continue carrying the fragments of decisions people once believed were right. And sometimes, when the night grows quiet, it is hard not to wonder. The most frightening part of this legend is not what came from the sea. It is human cruelty. The fact that they left her to her fate. That no one stepped forward and said, "I choose kindness. I choose to help." How easily everyone agreed to send her away.